Hi, I'm Kajira Djoumahna, and
I'm Chuck.
we produce TribalFest together. TribalFest is the first and largest themed festival for all tribal and alternative styles of belly dancing. Started in the year 2000, and the first one was held in 2001. It's on the first full weekend of May and the 3 days preceding that. But it started out as just a 2-day deal, all dedicated to ATS, or American Tribal Style, and folkloric groups, which was all that we had at the time. There was no tribal fusion, so we've been lucky enough to see the genre of tribal fusion start and grow through the 12 years TribalFest has been going on.
One of the things that's unique about TribalFest is that a lot of individuals and groups really bring it to TribalFest, and they really work their year around TribalFest, and they bring things to TribalFest and performances that are you really can't see it anywhere else other than TribalFest, because we have a very open policy about what they can perform at TribalFest.
Well, open, but it's also restricted. So our policy is absolutely no Oriental dance in traditional costumes. We also don't allow anything like that to be sold at TribalFest by any of our vendors. And this is part of the way it was themed when it first started, because us ATS folks always felt like the black sheep of the belly dance community, foisted into the backstages and whatnot, and talked about behind our backs when we first came out. So we felt like, well, we want a place of our own to celebrate what we do. But little did we know it was going to grow into such a worldwide phenomenon. This year at TribalFest 12, the year of the unicorn it was, we had 26 countries in attendance, 23 of them on stage.
And we had 166 acts on stage this year, which was tremendous for us. But the really sad part was that there were 70 acts that we couldn't even fit in this year, from people around the world that really wanted to come in and perform. And that always hurts our feelings really bad, that we can't fit everybody in that wants to come in.
Yeah. Lots of Eastern European folk, and again, the big contingent, Banu tribal belly dance from South Korea. They tend to come every year. It's just
huge.
Great. And we're also really honored how much work the groups tend to put into their show for TribalFest. And some of them have told me that they feel that they can perform things at TribalFest that they don't feel comfortable performing at other venues. Others have mentioned it's the beginning of their year. It's where they debut all their new material.
I think the very first, if you want to say big name, Rachel Bryce has always been just a huge supporter. And if I'm not mistaken, she taught her very first
open to the public workshop, like outside of Pixar Studios. And it came about in a strange way. She contacted us and said, "Hi, I'm Rachel Bryce, and I'm kind of new on the scene, but a bunch of my students are coming to your event, and they've asked me if I could hold a private lesson or a small group workshop in my hotel, but I don't want to step on any toes." And we said, "Oh, well, why don't you just teach it at TribalFest, and that way it's good for you and it's good for us," and we've never looked back. So great relationship.
Yeah, and she's always been a really good supporter, and she's actually clued us into a number of people that have, this person's really good, or maybe you should have this person, or hey, this guy's up and coming, like, Elan this year was huge, or a couple years ago when I did a performance at TribalFest, and she told me about this guy named Frank somebody. She goes, "Oh, this guy is going to be great," and I'm like, I never heard of him. I don't want, but obviously,
Frank Farnaro.
Yeah, just took off, and he's just nuts, and he's performed 2 or 3 times now,
at least 3,
and he's gotten a standing ovation every time he's performed at TribalFest. So yeah, that's very fun.
One of the best things about the workshops is that some of them will now be accessible online for those of you who couldn't make it personally to TribalFest. So we're really pleased to be able to start offering that. So this is just great for no matter where you live, and to experience the unique things that the instructors choose to offer at this event as opposed to any other workshop. For example, this year, my Black Sheep Belly Dance group offered new movements that we had never taught anywhere else before. And so things like that keep happening through all of our instructors' classes. So really, do check them out.
We do encourage a lot of our teachers, if possible, to come up with an idea to teach at a class at TribalFest that they don't normally teach other places, because there are so many events now, and so it to keep it unique and give people a reason to come and stuff, if a lot of them create a class or a workshop or a choreography, something that they're going to teach specifically at TribalFest.
By the way, if you're fortunate enough to be in one of the classes that was filmed, you are totally released from any headache of taking notes or even worrying about remembering what you're learning, because you can review the videos for free. That's a fabulous benefit for being in the classes being filmed. Yes, we have a great response about the number and styles of teachers that we have. For example, this year at TribalFest 12, we had 47 teachers teaching 66 different offerings over the 5 days. And they range from teachers who are up and coming stars to very established artists in the field. So anyone coming from any level, whether they're looking from somewhere to just start training from, or perhaps they're into Oriental dance and want to know what is this tribal thing and just want to find out through a little menu of samples of workshops. We have everything from 2-hour classes to 4-hour classes to 3-day, multiple days. So there's something for everyone. We even have lectures and discussions for people who just want to learn things and not even want to dance. So, and a huge variety, including everything we can think of, from themed classes to,
Hula hoops.
Yeah, ITS hula hoops. We've had fire dance classes, and of course the ATS and ITS and folkloric and tribal fusion and world dance fusion, which has really developed over the many years of the festival from something that was very much obviously a mixture of Oriental style and ATS into these world fusions where people are bringing in all kinds of dance forms from all over the place. And one thing we love about all the countries that come, or often they'll bring a flavor from home, and you'll see it in their costuming or maybe the music that they use. And it's just so exciting I just feel so grateful. I'm getting chills just thinking about how hard people around the world work to come here.
It really keeps it fresh, and it's not like if you come to TribalFest once and you go, okay, that's what it is. Well, you come back next year, and because of the people or the styles of the groups and the diversity of everybody that comes, it can be completely different. And a lot of it goes along with the theme that we picked, for the year. Next year, halfway to Halloween, we kind of expect that to be wilder than maybe some years, but it's going to be really fun.
Yeah. And we also want to mention our fabulous vendors. We had 45 or more vendors, and we expect more next year because a new area opened up. All the vendors are juried, and they're asked not to bring anything that isn't tribal belly dance related. And we try to keep each of them different from one another, so we have different styles of things to choose from, and not just like a Walmart of shopping. It's more individual and unique items, and we ask them to, if they're new, to send us photos and descriptions of what they will sell.
Like having 70 acts that couldn't get in, we always have a number of vendors that request to vend at TribalFest, and we always have a long waiting list. When we do have a vendor space open up, we don't go just right to the top of the waiting list. What we always do is we look and we see what they want to vend that will best fit in with our group. For example, we don't want to have 15 booths that are selling pants or whatever, so yeah. It makes it very unique that way. Every year after TribalFest, we always encourage comments and input and ideas so we can change and grow. And you always get some people that will say, oh, you should be in a more convenient location or closer to an airport, or you should grow and get into a bigger hall and stuff. But then the flip side of that is there's so many people love the fact that we're kind of in a little rural, off the beaten path, that when they come, it is like going to summer camp. I mean, we're in kind of a funky hall. I mean, it's got, wood and stuff, and it's just got a very cool vibe around it. The actual grounds themselves, that has a laguna around the back that people can walk around in. The town of Sebastopol is kind of like, I don't know.
Small town America, and on the left wing.
yeah, and so it's just got a very cool vibe, and the vibe at TribalFest, creating the vibe, is very important to us. And a lot of times people will say, "Oh, this is so great" and stuff. And I like to say that Kajira and I, we rent the hall and we bring the people, but it's the people themselves that bring the vibe and create the atmosphere, because it's just such a wonderful feeling, and that's one of the big draws about TribalFest, because the vibe that's created there by just the venue itself.
Yeah, and everyone in the town is now looking forward to it. They say, oh, we know when the belly dancers are here, and the belly dancers all feel so comfortable. And we've been fortunate for the last couple of years to have Whole Foods Sebastopol as one of our sponsors, and they fill gift bags for the teachers, and they make special TribalFest sandwiches for the week and discounts at the store, and it's really great to have the town's support too.
There are some times where people will question whether something, should be performed on the stage. There's always a talk after on Facebook about, oh, this act or that act, or so and so, but it's just people just need to lighten up a little bit.
Maybe we should say something about that. Some of our acts are controversial, But I don't know what else we could say.
I don't
know. That's just
kind
of laying by
We
itself.
don't think they're necessarily controversial, but I guess
They
because when we think about it, or we don't. When the acts perform, or when they sign up to perform, we have a little space on the performance application. What are you going to perform? And some people will write in, a fairly good description, or some people will just, do a line to it. But we have really no idea what they're going to do on the stage. So unless they tell us that, hey, this is going to happen, and we can put maybe a disclaimer in the program if there's going to be.
The first time we had burlesque at TribalFest, we did that, and we made sure to put a disclaimer in saying what it was that they'd be saying, and that there could be partial nudity, and if you were uncomfortable, to go shop for a while.
Yeah.
And just so you know, every year the TribalFest website opens up on November 1st, and that's when you can first start signing up for classes. Often ahead of time on our Facebook page, Chuck ends up posting the classes and the detailed list, so you have a chance to decide what you're going to take before you sign up. And you do have to be careful about that, because there are as many as 5 different classes going on at the same time, sometimes overlapping in the schedule, so be careful when you sign up.